Marketing. And, I've been involved in this industry for, man, almost 20 years. And I've learned from some of the best of the best. Generally, there's going to be people that come in your life that will make such an impact on your life that, you can never forget. And I never forget, I'll tell you a story how I met, my mentor you guys are going to meet in the next few minutes. I never forget I was in a position, I had just got, married, my wife and I just bought a brand new home. We both had, great things going on financially. And I was one of those type of people who thought I just really had it going on, like I've arrived, I never forget a good friend of mine who called me to take a look at something that was a little bit different. And I never forget, it's funny how networking work, you guys. I never forget when my friend came up on my porch and my wife's like, look, he's not signing up for anything. He's not doing anything. Don't bring him nothing, right? And, it was really funny, but, at that point there, I had to ask myself, like, well, do I want to just continue working for someone else, or, might I have to defy my wife on this one or what? So the information made some sense to me. I said, well, hey, why not, right? So I just explained to my wife, like, it made a lot of sense. I was new to that type of language, and it made a lot of sense in many different ways. That wasn't what got it for me. I'm gonna tell you what got it for me is I went to a little meeting in a dingy hotel. I'll never forget, a dingy hotel room in Detroit, Michigan. And I never forget, it was probably 30, 40 people in the room, and everybody was just excited. And I just wasn't used to that type of, when you work with someone else, it's not that rah-rah and positive energy flowing. It's usually negativity flow, right? So when I get to this meeting, I'm like, wow, man, everybody hugging each other. And, it was like an environment I thought was really, really cool, right? I thought it was really, really cool. And I'll never forget, they introduced a guy, and, the gentleman I'm gonna introduce you guys, who you guys are gonna hear from over the next few minutes. But when I got a chance to hear this man's story, here I am sitting in the back with my ego thinking I had it going on, and here this young man that just graduated from college, I think it was Morehouse College, right?
Yes,
Morehouse, yeah, Morehouse College. And I never forget, he was in front of the room, he's talking about how he worked for one of the biggest banks in the world. I never forget it, B. He said, I'm not gonna mention the name of the bank, but the initials was BOA or something like that. And you were talking about your story of how you, like, hey, this guy's 22, 23 years old, and he was retired from working from corporate America. And here I am thinking, like, man, here I am thinking I got it going on. And here's a guy that's, 10 years, 10 years or so, my younger generation, I'm 10 years older than him, or probably more. And he had what I wanted, which was freedom. So, man, my ears and my radar went up, like, and I was just so happy that I met this guy, because he was the one that made me not only believe that this could actually happen, because a person who brought me into the industry wasn't someone I respected as a business person, right? He was just a friend. But he was the first person I saw to say, you know what, this might actually be possible. And, since then, he worked with my wife and I very, very closely. I never forget traveling to Atlanta to come to his house, and he just taught me so much. And ladies and gentlemen, he made such an impact on my life, from not only being, I call him one of my great friends. He's a leader's leader. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have seen some great trainers. This guy literally is the best of the best. When I say he's on the Mount Rushmore of training for network marketing, he's on the Mount Rushmore, and he's taught my wife and I so much. He taught me a few key principles I try to instill in you. Work ethic, for one. 2, always do the right thing when nobody's looking, okay? And 3, just be honest. Just be honest and work the system. He taught us the same system that was taught to him, and he's still doing the same system 20 years later and he's running like an ant train. Those gentlemen for builders who would say, you know what, I see myself as an impact player in this particular business. But I wanted to bring on my good friend. I want you guys to hear from someone from afar. You saw me drop that video last week where he basically talked about the story of me on stage. And you know, he's a great friend of mine. And I just want him to come on this call just to drop some good nuggets for you guys on what it takes to really be an impact player in this particular space. I want you guys to drop some sevens in the chat, because we have a legend on the call. Drop some sevens on the chat for my main man, super duper industry leader, one of the best, and one of my very best friends in this game. I can always call on this guy when I'm going through peaks and valleys in my business. I call him for advice. You know, hey, I'm in this situation. What can you help me with? You have to find yourself a mentor you can latch on to. It doesn't matter if you're in different opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about that brotherhood and that friendship. So let's welcome our good friend and our mentor today, mentor to millions, Mr. Brian Beane. What's up, Mr. Brian Beane?
Hey, man, that's a great intro, man. I thought the music was going to play again. What's happening? Y'all good?
Yes.
Hey, man, first of all, I appreciate you for having me. Second of all, everything you said is true, guys. It was so funny, man. Back then, Lawrence, it was Nations Bank. So I used to say, I can't give you guys the name of the company, but they call it the Bank of the Nation. And and I was broke, man. I was broke. I was hungry. I was like, I gotta get out of here, man. Just to show you guys. And I don't know the different levels of income on the call. Y'all are fine. I talk to everybody like they're my friend, man. So all y'all are my friend if you're a friend of Big L's. But I was broke as a joke, man. And I was counting other people's money. And I would go home every day to my place like, man, this ain't gonna get it, man. What in the world? It must be something I don't know. And man, I got in this industry, man, and I met Lawrence. And I'm telling y'all, if you saw that video, Lawrence was on like my 7th or 8th level. It was all kind of drama between the people between us, not between us. I want to make sure that's clear. It was drama between us, if you know what I mean. So it was people between us, man. This person. And boy, if you hit and tap your organization, you gonna find a diamond. And I found a diamond, and he been rocking and rolling ever since, man. To see him go from chairman 10 to 20, I think you guys have what, 25,000, 50,000. I know whatever it is, he 100,000. And I'm proud of you, man. Nobody could be prouder of you than I am, man. Just to see you stay true to the principles, man. And you know, let's do some Q&A. I got some frameworks for you guys. I got some training for you guys. I love it. And on a Saturday, on a weekend, a holiday weekend, y'all ready to train? It sounds like my kind of crew, man. So let's do it.
Hey, let me ask you a question, man. What was one of the first, you know, you being a person, yeah, come up in a great family, great principals, you know, Morehouse is an esteemed college for African-American young man. I mean, it's, you know, it's an esteemed college that people look up to. And what was it for you, man, when you first got network marketing? What made you really believe that, you know, this could really happen for you? I mean, what was it that when that switch went off? Because it had to be something, just like the switch went off for me, it went off for you. What was that situation?
Yeah, well, you got to understand, man, Lawrence, that's a great question. A lot of people ask me that. I was too young, and I like to say young and dumb, but I'm being funny. I was too young and naive to believe that this wouldn't work. Y'all have to understand, I was 19 years old when I went to my first network marketing company, and I retired with my first network marketing meeting, and I retired when I was 22. I'm 45 now. So I grew up knowing that this just made too much sense to me. Lawrence, I did not understand. And this was back in the telecommunication days, for you guys that remember long distance and, you know, AT&T deregulated and all this stuff. I just couldn't understand why you don't understand that every time a person pays the bill, I get paid. And if I get a few people to get a few people to get a few people, you mean to tell me I can get paid every time they pay the bill? I was too young, Lawrence, to believe that that was not possible. I was too young to understand that that wasn't supposed to make sense to me. So what I want you guys to really understand as we get older, society and television and bad mentors and bad advice and broke friends and entertainment and these days social media, those are the things that have you believing you can't be wealthy. Those are the things that have you believing it's not possible for you. Those are the things that get you to comparing yourself to other people, and you think your journey gonna be long when the man upstairs the whole time said, I give you power to gain wealth. So Lawrence, I just knew a long time ago, man, if the man upstairs said, I give you power to gain wealth, and I'm not a biblical scholar, but I do believe in spirituality. If Deuteronomy says, I give you power to gain wealth, that means it's my birthright. And then I want wealth, that's my choice. Lawrence, it's gonna be pretty hard for me not to get it, okay? I mean, just think about it. If he said I can have it, and I want it, who are you to tell me I can't have it? Ain't nothing between me and the wealth but you. So why am I sitting here talking to you any longer than necessary when the man upstairs said I can have it and I want it? So I need to write this down, man. The more I listen to you, the dumber I get. And that's what I told my friends. Right? I said, the more I listen to you, the dumber I'm getting. So I started hanging around people, man, and making more money in a month than I was making all year. And I kept saying to myself, it's something I must not know. I can't be this broke. I'm too smart. I got the work ethic. I'm not in the streets. I grew up on both sides of the tracks, but I stayed on the right side. Why am I broke? And man, I started realizing it was me. It was my mindset, and it was the teachings. And Lawrence, that light bulb went off when I realized that if I changed me, my money would change. And it's been 23 years, man, of just changing me and still changing me every day.
Yeah, and I know, you were one of the people that actually told me to read Think and Grow Rich. I never even heard of the book. And that's why I try to instill in new people in networking today. Like that book there was a game changer for me. Just kind of open up that whole new door of being, this call is being recorded, Jazz. But this, it just opened up that whole new door, just really that whole frequency that you need to tap into to get real success, and since then you taught me to always read, a book of the month. There's always a new book, always sharpen the accent. Even still, I listen, just like today, before I talked to you, when you called me earlier, I was listening to one of your recordings on survival of the fittest when I was doing my 2-mile walk. So, you have to always sharpen the accent. That's one of the things you really taught me is really built that leadership muscle up. And to me, you're like I said, you're on the Mount Rushmore of that. But when you started that journey, I know you had a lot of friends, because some people just call it young, some people are middle-aged. And when they get in this particular space, they act like, it's like you embarrassed because it's networking, almost because you got so many degrees or anything like that. And you're afraid what your friends think. I know when you first got involved, I know you were telling me that one time you met up with your friends like, you different. You different.
Look, great story.
But at what point you say, I maybe have to shed some of these relationships. We could be friends, but I'm just on a whole new frequency right now. And some of you guys, your seasons just may not be with me right now. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah, let me tell you why. And let me go back to this book thing real quick, because people think I make this stuff up, and you'll find out all my stories are true. If you go to my YouTube channel, you hear a story, I always put a video up, I always document it. All my stories are true. Lawrence, here's the funny thing about it. Think and Grow Rich. My mother gave me a book, a little pamphlet, right? People don't believe me, but man, this stuff is true. All right, I keep this stuff near me. Now you got to know that me and Lawrence didn't prepare for this, just so y'all know. But my mom gave me a little 9-page books like this, man, when I was 9 years old, full of just positive quotes, right? And then check this out. Think and Grow Rich is the Cliff Notes. The Laws of Success. This is the one. If y'all notice, I keep them within reach, right? This is the Don Dada of them all. I read this bad boy, and it showed me how the mind works and how your mind is like a sending and receiving signal. And what you send out, you get back. And thoughts are things. A lot of people know about Think and Grow Rich, but Napoleon Hill actually got those principles and made it easy because a lot of people couldn't handle this. And Lawrence, this gonna mess you up. Every single time I see it, y'all see how old this one is? My mama killed me, right? Right, that's how old this is. Every single time I see it, I get an updated copy of it. People like, Brian, you got this same book 10 times. I'm like, yeah, see, that's the difference between me and you. I don't do nothing halfway. See, to your friends, this is nuts. Brian, why you got the same book 3 times? Because that's how much I appreciate it. And I want to get 3 times the result that Ford got, that Carnegie got, that Mr. Wrigley got, right? That Firestone got. See, I study the successful families and I study the successful people. And if it's all in a book, you telling me you ain't got a minute to read it? Man, please. So what I had to do, here's what I learned. I'm gonna give you guys the best advice that anybody's well, not the best anybody ever gonna give you, but I'm gonna give you the best advice for this conversation. Remember this. Network marketing is an admission. Network marketing is an admission. Now, let me tell you what I mean. Here's when I knew I had to redraw my circle arms. Here's when I knew. What you guys have to understand is, we go to work, we go to church, we come home, we play with the kids. We go to work, we go to church, we come home, play with the kids. We do the same thing. When you got a 22-year-old kid telling you he's making more in a month than his friends are making all year. When you got a 26-year-old kid, now when I was 22, I wasn't making enough to like annual salary, but I made more than my job was paying me. But by the time I got to 26, 27, 28, 29, I was making more in a month than people were making all year. So what happens is your friends get angry because they think, and it's a subconscious thing, they don't know this, they think that what you're screaming is my life was built incorrectly. That's not what you're screaming, but Lawrence, that's what their conscience is saying. So what happens is, you mean to tell me, Brian, if I gotta get in one of those things and tell my friends, and they gotta tell their friends, and they gotta tell their friends, you telling me that what we've been doing, college, degrees, jobs, pensions, 401k, 501c, W-2, those are tax codes for money, right? What you're telling me, Brian, is you make more in a month by signing a few people up, and they sign a few people up, and I've been working my you-know-what off for 20 years, and you expect me to get in that and tell my friends that what we've been doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the admission, and people don't realize this, but it's true. You'll see after years and years of this, Lawrence, that's why people would rather not even see it. See, y'all think people don't show up, and y'all think people don't like it. It's not that they don't like it. You're going against the essence of who they are. So you telling me I can make more money doing this by dropping a couple of $100s in than I've been making all my life? I'm like, yeah, you can. Well, guess what? I ain't coming to the meeting. I don't want to see it. Got to ask my wife about it. Got to talk it over with my husband. So those excuses are really, you know what? I can't introduce this to my friends because they already think I got it going on. And if y'all notice, that's why it's hard to recruit like upper middle class people or middle class people. The upper middle class, they too embarrassed to do something like this because then they have to then unveil the fact that they want more. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting more, but in their mind, they think they got to tell their friends, and we already supposed to have it together, so I can't do that little meeting. The middle class don't want to do it because what you telling me is you make more than me in a day, and I got 2 degrees. Yeah, I do. You see what I'm saying? So you got to slowly pull the veil off of people because your eyes dilate if you get light too soon. I want y'all to write that in your notes. When you get light too soon, it blinds people. And what a lot of networkers do, they don't know how to do what I call strategic enrollment. So because you don't understand strategic enrollment, you're blinding people and you wonder why they don't show. It's because they don't want to see the light. That's why people don't, that's why the business is so difficult until you master that.
You know, it's crazy, man. You're so right, man, because I've noticed that sometimes you can talk to people, and even like myself, like a lot of my friends and family, I've always been a winner. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I've always done well in what I do. But when I started to think differently and my frequency started to really kind of elevate a little bit, and I would get around my friends, they would always say, well, you know, you're always going to win at what you do. But what I've noticed is a lot of people who think they've got it going on because they have a nice CEO, VP, you know, manager behind that title at the job. They let the ego get in the way of looking at things. I never forget being at a meeting one day, and that's why, you know, people don't realize how strong the industry of network marketing is. I'm gonna break it down to you guys real quick. I was at a meeting one time, and that's when I was in this company. It was a health beverage company, okay? And I was in this company. I never forget the meeting. It was at the University of Michigan doing this meeting, and it's late, you know, a whole bunch of people in the room. And you know, B, it's always that one person that's got the little snooty face, or at the meeting has got the giving you the bad vibrations or the you know, that kind of stuff, right? And there's always that one heckler. So I never forget how I had to body this one lady, right? I'm gonna tell you how I had to body it. When we were in the meeting, she gets up and says, well, you're saying all this about school and how, you know, people shouldn't go to school and how this is, you know, you're talking about a pyramid scheme. Oh, bro, you know Bruce Lee came out there, bro.
We had
right?
to get it. We got it. We had to get it.
Oh man, yeah, you about to unleash 36 chambers right now. Right? so I told her, I said, listen, I said respectfully, what I did say is I'm all for higher education, but what I also said is don't make higher education your only means that that's the way you got to make money, right? Because that old model, getting a degree, getting a great job with a picket fence. I never forget you used to say when you was in college, man, if I could just find me a girlfriend with a picket fence, and it's something you used to say, yeah, like, Lord, just let me just find somebody, right? It was so funny. But we've been taught that same template that right now that model just doesn't work anymore, right? So I never forget I was doing this meeting and the lady tried to come at me, right? I say, listen, lady, let me ask you a question. I said, listen, just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but I want you to use common sense right now. I said, take you say you're a registered nurse, you went to University of Michigan. I said, so you're probably making 70 to 100,000 a year. I know because my mom's RN, right? I said, but you went to U of M, you probably had student loan debt. You probably got 100 racks in student loan debt, right? She said, well, yeah, I'm still paying them off. I said, that's cool. So you go to work 52 weeks out, 52 weeks out of the year, you probably got two to 4 weeks back and forth vacation, am I right?
Yeah.
She says, yes. I said, okay, now look at that. I said, now, are you free to have time freedom? And she says, well, no, I still got to go put those 40, 50 hours a week in, right? I said, okay, now we've heard that side of the argument. I said, now listen to this side of the argument. I didn't graduate from college, right? I got my degree from Hustle Hard University, right? It's a virtual university. I said, so get this. I said, let me ask you a question. You've heard your argument. Now let me bring the defense. The defense is this. My opportunity I'm sharing with you right now only cost me $200, right? My opportunity now allows me to make $20,000 a month. Every month residually, whether I talk to you or anybody else, I can lay on my couch and still make $20,000 a month.
That's right.
I wake up and I'm tired of sleeping, right? So if you were just the person who was the jury looking at your case versus my case, which one do you think people want to sign up for?
That's right. No emotion.
You know what the next words were? Give me the application. Give me the application, man. You know you're right, young man. See, listen, when you're involved in this space, you cannot let people try to come at you. Your bravado's got to be different. And that's why I try to teach people. You can't be timid and because your belief may not be there yet because maybe your income hasn't caught up. Listen, we sit in the most level playing field for business that there is. Because guess what? All you need, the gift and the curse. The gift is $200 to start. The curse is, guess what? It's $200 to start.
Yeah.
There's no prerequisite. So when you have something that's like that, it's a level playing field. It doesn't matter what you look like, talk like, dress like. It's just a matter of your work ethic and what is you truly believe that can happen for you. Yep. And that's one thing I love about network marketing. Sure, it has pros and cons on everything, but I'd rather dance at that party where I could be free than give all my energy to a situation where I know I'm in bondage, so to speak. Does that make sense?
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I
tell
you, man, it's these trials and tribulations that we go through have already been tested. Like, in other words, like if you own a traditional business, and here's what I want a lot of you guys to understand. Stop comparing network marketing to itself. And Big L, here's what I mean by that. People compare network marketing to itself. They go, well, this person got this many reps in this amount of time. That company has this comp plan. This company got that comp plan. This organization has this meeting, and that organization builds theirs this way. I said, look, stop comparing network marketing to itself. You'll get more proud and proud and proud and more proud of this industry when you realize, compare the money we make to what another person would have to make in a traditional business and what they would have to do. Y'all, I have a friend of mine that owns 6 Burger Kings, 6. He used to play for the Cleveland Browns. He couldn't wait to get out of the franchise business. Now, it sounded good. It looked good, but he was trying to sell 3 of them. One of them got robbed every week. One of them had a lawsuit pending. One of them, the girl was stealing from the drive-thru. It sounds good, but I made more. When he did all that P&L and all his results, my profit and loss statement had more on it than his. What I do, Lawrence, to stay grounded, and when we all get a little frustrated, I don't compare myself to other networkers. I compare myself to what I'm making right now versus what this person who go on his dry cleaner, on his barbershop, on his daycare, on his limousine service, when we do all the numbers, he working hard as hell, and I make 3 times what he make because I don't have those expenses. See, people miss this. Look, NBA shut down, NFL shut down, baseball shut down, Olympics postponed, churches can't meet, Vegas shut down, everybody shut down. The home-based business is the winner right now. For the first time in my life, I'm looking at everybody going, yeah, I've been telling people this 23 years. Get your butt some money from home. Now everybody calling me, hey, Brian, what you got going on?
Now you want to listen.
You want to talk to your boy this week, huh? Okay. We the only ones winning. And I tell people, man, take pride in that. Sometimes you don't have that posture like Lauren said because the money's not there yet. But put this in your notes. The further you go, the further you can see. The further you go, the further you can see. And see, when you get to a point where you making the kind of money that we make, and then people come at you with that craziness, you don't even really hear it because they're not even speaking the same language that you speak anymore. You don't even hear it. Lawrence talked about I have a series called Instincts. And Instincts is where I break down, Lawrence, I think I'm up to my 18th animal. I do 3 animals per series. And I'm up to my 18th animal. And one of them is the rhino. And guys, do you know what a rhino does? A rhino, if it gets nervous, without any warning, he'll charge, right? He'll charge at whatever he feels like is a threat to him. And people think the rhino is mean or vicious. He's really not. Now, hippopotamus will tell you to pieces. That's another animal. But a rhino is not mean and vicious. What it is, Lawrence, he can't see. So put this in your notes. When your vision is small, everything scares you. See, when you got big vision and you've seen the things that I've seen, and you've seen the things that Lawrence has seen, and we've all been to Tahiti, and we've all been to France, and we've all been to Dubai, and all of us have kicked it all over the world. When you've seen things that people haven't seen, nothing bothers you. Because when your vision is big, small things don't matter. When your vision is small, everything seems big and matters. A rhino charges at you not because he's scared, he can't see. So when your vision is limited, everything shakes you up. Oh, what they saying about me? Oh, why you putting that online? Oh, why my team dying? Oh, why my retention bad? You got small vision. That's why. That's why. So I tell people all the time, man, especially in my Instinct series, I let them know, you are an animal. You are the most intelligent animal. You're the only animal that lives primarily on 2 feet. Every other animal on the planet can't make a decision like you can. See, you literally are the only animal that can think of something and make it happen. You can't say, I want $1 million and it drop out the sky, but you can say, I want $1 million and become the person that $1 million, the idea will hit you that will go make it, or the business opportunity will be bestowed upon you where you can go get it. A bird can't do that. A lion can't do that. You're the only animal that primarily on 2 feet can stand erect, hold his chin to the sky, and raise his own self-esteem. Every other animal has what's called cellular intelligence. That means they're just born with certain DNA and survival skills. You have what's called emotional intelligence, and that's why you don't make it. Those of us that are successful, we tap into our cellular intelligence. We know who we are. Those of us in networking that always tap into their emotional intelligence, they don't make it. And emotions are the #1 thing that knock you out the game. I put this on my Instagram the other day. I got a quote from Diddy on my wall. He said, emotions will have you broke. Your emotions will have you broke. And I learned that a long time ago. And with the minute I got more control of my emotions, my income started going through the ceiling. See, because your money ain't mine. I want y'all to put this in your notes. The business is for you, it's not for them. But see, Lawrence, what we do when we think other people quit the business, when other people quit the business, their thoughts become ours. So you start thinking it's not for you. No, it's not for him. The business is for you. It's not for them. Oh, they quit. Oh, they went red. Oh, these people not signing up. Oh, everybody I talk to not seeing it. Okay, it's not for you. It's not for them. But what does that have to do with me? See, Lawrence, I was just too young, man, to believe. I was too young and dumb to believe that I couldn't do it. So nobody could tell me that I couldn't do it. So I just knew that if I wanted it, it was mine. And as you get older, the more things start telling you you can't have it. And that's what makes your journey more difficult, which is why you got to become stronger faster.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's so deep, bro. And it's crazy. I was just thinking last night, I said, man, I got this call with B. And one of the things, man, you really changed my life was actually my very favorite quote. And I kind of let you expound on it, but I never forget when you said it. It sounded so profound, but when I started to kind of dig into that personal growth development, I'm like, man, he didn't make that up. He got it from somebody else. But hey, talk about the whole lion versus the gazelle, man.
Oh yeah, I definitely didn't make that up. Now the stuff I made up, I'll take credit for it, but I definitely didn't make that up. Yeah, the lion and gazelle. Hey, they say every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up and it knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve. And every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up and it knows it must outrun the fastest lion or he'll be eaten. So the moral of the story is it doesn't matter whether you're a lion or whether you're a gazelle, when the sun come up, you better be running. That's the bottom line. The lion has to outrun the slowest gazelle, period. And the gazelle has to outrun the fastest lion. So we all running. When you get up, either you getting chased, and I always do it like this, Big L. Capitalism is either whooping your butt and eating you alive, or you becoming what's called a conscious capitalist. I don't step on people to get money. I don't twist their arm to join my business. I don't have to chase you and persuade you. I'm what's called a conscious capitalist. That means I believe in capitalism because we live in America, and if you don't, you sadly mistaken. But I'm not gonna hurt you to get it. I'm not gonna step on you to get it. I'm not gonna lose my friendships over it. Me and Lawrence been friends 20 years. No problems, no beef, no nothing. All the fallout in the middle, me and Lawrence stayed in touch because I knew that he was a quality person. And you'll get to a point where your money's not the big deal no more. You just wanna surround yourself, man, with some quality people. So we still run like lions and gazelles. We wake up in the morning just as excited, but I want to run with some people that got some integrity, got some business by themselves. Because I'll be honest with y'all, man, the network marketing is really just a vehicle for us to do some big things later. I want to be able to call you guys and say, look, who got 50 grand a piece? Let's go ahead and buy the shopping mall and what's called land banking. Let's go and buy the shopping mall that they are projecting going to be the next big thing. Let's go ahead and buy the land. Who got 50 grand a piece for us to go in on the parcel? So the network marketing just brings the money to us, but we ain't got to fight and argue in network marketing. This is the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy because there's so much money to be made, and there's so many people in the world who's never even heard the word networking. And here we are, two guys who've known each other for 20 years. We're both in different things, but guess what? It's the commonality of just to have that brotherhood and sisterhood of network, right? And that's one thing I love about it. And too many times I see and everybody starting to hate on that person because they left, and y'all not friends no more because they went to the opportunity. And it's so comical. I'm like,
emotions.
If that's the case, we weren't friends anyway.
Emotions. You're emotion driven. So I didn't know that my solution for my family and what I thought was good for me, I didn't know it affected you that bad emotionally. See, that's why you got to become a professional so you can start respecting each other more, right? That's what Lawrence trusts me enough to know that I'm gonna give him good advice. I trust him enough to give me great advice. We're gonna get in our vintage cars. We're gonna go up to Detroit and ride around and dream cruise. We're gonna have a good time seeing the world, and we're gonna get back together as friends. All this other stuff don't matter. Life is too short. And if you ain't figured that out in 2020, I don't know what will, when you will.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's crazy, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new in networking or if you're some veterans in the game, you're gonna relate to this. When you get in networking, you're gonna run into trials and tribulations. You're gonna run into uplines that try to hate on you. You're gonna run into, friends who start to say you need to change. You're gonna run into all this adversity from people who are levels above you. And just like the story of, you know, how we connected. You know, you talk about that. For some people that see the video, you might be talking about how, like, in building your business, that's why it's so important when you sign up that initial person. It's not about them. It's about who they know that you don't know. And that's why the tap rooting is so, so important. I think people think because they are, how many times we all heard this on the call? Man, everybody know about it. All my friends are saying no. Listen, when you get somebody involved, you have to find out who they know that you don't know, like cat quick, right? Yeah. So Brian, kind of expound on that whole, you know, tap rooting thing. And just, if you want to expound on the story of how, you know, that video you sent me, because some people didn't see it.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the analogy, right? If you take a pot of water and you put it in a desert and the heat beams on it, that water is going to eventually evaporate and turn into gas. And that's what happened. I mean, it evaporates, not turn to gas, but it evaporates, right? And it changes form. But if you take that same heat and you put it under the pot is going to boil. Same heat from a different direction. What too many uplines do is we too busy trying to tell our teams what to do. Come on, you can do it. Come on, why you ain't talking to so-and-so? Come on, how many people you got? And you doing what's called, out of the 5 phases, you hit what's called management mode. And management mode is level 2. It's a dangerous spot to be in, where you start to tell your team from the top what they should be doing. What I did, the minute I ran into John, right, who ran into Vaughn, right, who ran into Elton, who ran into Mark, and now I'm gonna change the names, who ran into Steve, who ran into Barbara, who ran into Nicole, then I met Lawrence. When I saw a shining star, I didn't stay in touch with the friend who introduced me to it. What most of y'all would have did was call your friend John and make sure John is delivering the message. I went and got my butt on the plane and flew up to meet Lawrence. I burnt my group from the bottom. You don't burn your group from the top. If you bring the heat from the top, your group dies. If you burn your group from the bottom, your group lives. So when I got in touch with Lawrence, it sparked the fire up through the other 9 people who were dying. That's what you got to do. But Lawrence, it's common to work with the people you know. And usually the people you know are on levels 1 and 2. A friend told a friend. The good friends that have the 20-year relationships, those are the strangers you haven't met yet. But you don't meet the strangers dealing with the guy that you're talking to, right? So I've learned, write this in your notes, talk through people, not to people. You gotta learn to talk through people, not to people. Man, when I met Lawrence, it was like, I ain't even know them other people no more. I was like, man, where you been my whole life? Where has this guy
I was coachable. That's all it was, coachable. I said, listen, he has what I want, and I'm gonna listen to everything he says.
And that's it. So I didn't call the people in the middle to try to nurture Lawrence. I knew that if I could just nurture him and get rid of all the politics, he was gonna be a stud. And then, man, from then on, the rest is history. So yeah, guys, you gotta burn your group from the bottom. You can't be afraid to connect with that superstar, and you gotta stop going through the person that you think needs to deliver the message when you probably can deliver it to that person better than they can. But what happens, Lawrence, like you said, ego, ego stands for edging God out. When that ego kick in and those people in the middle start making it seem like they want to be the person responsible for that superstar. They want to be the person so you can't take credit for their success. That's when you got to learn, write this in your notes, to move people to action without touching them. You got to learn. See, the beauty of network marketing, when you get this, you're going to make a ton of money. I have mastered the art of moving you to action without touching you. It can't feel like a part-time job. It can't feel like a full-time job. I can't feel like your manager. Oftentimes, I can't even feel like your mentor. What I've learned to be, Lawrence, is your consultant. See, a manager tells you what to do. A consultant says, hey, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. Now you can do it your way, but let me show you the ramifications of doing it your way long-term. I'm here, you paid me to be your consultant, but I'm not your manager. And here's gonna be the outcome of doing it your way. So I've learned how to move people to action without touching them. And I don't manage anybody. I make sure everybody's having fun. I make sure those politics stay out of my team. I make sure we bring everything, if we have a problem, to the surface. Let's talk like men and women. We all humans. We all want success. Let's drop the egos and let's roll. When you do that, you find that leader you need at the bottom, and they'll burn your group back up to the top.
Yeah, one of the things I learned from you that that really stuck with me as well is, you know, in business and when you're dealing with multiple personalities, different people have different motives, you got different emotions.
Woo.
You get a lot of infighting and stuff that happens. And one thing I've always learned from you is you always say, listen, man, you always got to solve for X.
Yeah.
You always have to solve for X, and so you can actually get situations out of the way, and that way you keep the business moving forward. You mind talking about solving for X?
Yeah, solving for X is this. When you solve for X, guys, everybody know that math, 1 + 1 always equals 2, right? And 3 times 3 always equals 9. So what we do a lot of times in business, we have to remember that a lot of times in network marketing, you don't realize it, but you're in the people business. And when you're in the people business first, and the distribution business second, and believe it or not, you and whatever your product is, that's third. You're in the people business first, you're in the distribution business second, and whatever your product is, that's really third. Once you master people and distribution, you're gonna have all kind of problems in politics. Think about it. It's just like a microcosm of America. You got black, you got white, you got short, you got tall, you got people that grew up in this country, you got people that from overseas. You got some people that grew up with 2 parents, some people grew up in foster care, people came out of abusive relationships, some people have been married 40 years. You think everybody's supposed to come together and see everything the same way. No, very few of you guys are gonna see things the same way. So what you have to learn is how to move people to action without touching them and solve for X. So when I have a problem, remember, believe none of what you hear and believe half of what you see. So anytime I have a problem, I ask a ton of questions. I don't believe anything I hear, and I only believe half of what I see. So solving for X means ask all the parties involved what the questions necessary to see who the problem is in the organization. Now I'm using people as an example, but you're gonna have a ton of problems. In other words, we don't have time to really talk about how to address politics. Lawrence, we got to do like a part 2 or something, man. I got so much information for you guys. But let me use a better example without going to the politics, because that takes me a different direction. If you own a McDonald's and your revenues are going down, we got to figure out why. A few things could be happening. 1, your customer service sucks. So people leaving and they're not coming back. And the word is getting out that y'all's customer service sucks. 2, Keisha in the drive-thru telling all her friends to come by at 2 o'clock. 3, you overpaying for the meat. So you've lost in business what's called, when a company goes vertical, that means everything is extremely inexpensive. So because you're not doing well with sales, everything from your napkins to your spoons, to your straws, to your forks, to your milkshakes, the machines, you're no longer in business what's called vertical. When your company loses that ability to go vertical, everything gets more expensive. So your expenses are too high. 4, Wendy's opened up down the street. X, we got to hurry up and solve for X and see when our numbers were great, what changed to make us lose this quarter? That's X. You got to do the same thing in this business. The good news is when you solve for X, it's usually the previous step. If people aren't showing up at your presentation, your invitation process sucks. If people aren't staying for your trainings, that's because your presentation not closing people. If people not piquing interest, they don't know the power of prospecting. If people not getting promoted, they don't understand structure and composition. See, X is always the previous step. So when you have a system like I know you guys have, or all you guys wouldn't be under Lawrence's tutelage, X is always the step prior to the one that you're struggling with. That's how I make so much money. I'm an excellent problem solver. I wake up in the morning going, what am I gonna have to solve today? And that's what business owners do. The problem with most network marketers is they don't know they're in business, Lawrence. So when a problem hits them, they think the business sucks. No, my friend. Business is problems. You see, but because you don't know you in business, you think it's supposed to be some angels that sweep in and take you to the top with their golden wings, and we all just gonna fly together. No, man, it's pits, it's snakes, it's fires, it's traps, it's shady people, jealous people, envy. But when the money roll in, that stuff don't shake you. So I've just learned to solve for X and get down to the root of where we lost momentum. Where do we lose production? What changed that made this happen? And that's X always, 10 times out of 10.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I remember back in the day when you once said, you know, when you look at a mountain, you see it looks from afar, it's like real beautiful, the snow on the top, mountain cats. When you get up in that, trying to get to the top, just like you said, you got traps, you got snakes, you got bears, you got mountain lions, you got all kinds of things that don't look so pretty when you're in the mix. And
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's one of the things I really learned from you too. But I want you to kind of kick it on. I know you got this graduation thing you got to go to, but I want you to kick on two more things. One is, what is the importance, like when someone gets in networking, what is the importance of being not only humble, but also being coachable? I think being coachable has got to be one of the most, I mean, you have to be humble and coachable in your journey to the top. Because even like myself, anybody who knows me, sure, I make a lot of money, okay? But I'm the same guy. Brian, am I the same guy that I met you at 20 years ago? Money doesn't change. It's never changed, but I've always been humble because I know this by God's grace, for one. But money is just money. It just amplifies who you already are. But kind of talk a little bit about, being humble and being coachable.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, it's three stages of coachability, right? First, you're coachable, then you're uncoachable, and then your butt get coachable again.
Right.
Let me say that for the people in the back. It's 3 stages of coachability. You're coachable, then you get uncoachable, and then your butt get coachable again. Here's why, Lawrence. You were actually better, and people don't want to hear this, but it's true. You were better when you knew less. Because think about it. When you knew less, you was like, look, I don't know. I just got to get you on the phone with my homeboy. He trading better than me. He building better than me. He's chairman 100,000. I'm brand new. You actually were better when you knew less. The problem is, now that you know a little bit more, you start thinking you got to use all that stuff. Now, Lawrence can't tell you nothing. Now that you chairman 10, chairman 50, to your people, you on his ass. So he ain't no bigger than you. He ain't no better than you. No, man. See, now what you forgot was you got to chairman 10 by not knowing as much as you know now. And those people that got you there are the same people that's going to get you where they are, because you have to have different skill sets at every position. You can't be the same person at the beginning that you are at the end. So what in the world make you think just because you chairman 10 that same person going to get you to chairman 50? It's not going to happen, because you got more responsibilities and more problems you haven't encountered yet. Chairman 100, they've encountered just about everything, and they can see problems coming before you even imagine them. So what you guys have to learn is real simple. Stay coachable. Don't ever get uncoachable. And that way you wouldn't have to worry about stage 3. The reason is you were more hungry when you had nothing. Put this in your notes. The worst kind of money is a little bit. The worst kind of money.
Oh, you heard them today, bro. You heard them today, bro.
Lawrence, let me tell you something. Boy, these folks start making a little money. A little bit. I'm talking about a little bit. Man, I'm at $5,000 a month. Man, what? What? And I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying the worst kind of money is a little bit. And when people start making a little money, they forget the people who got them to $5,000 a month.
Hey,
I thought it was $5,000 a day.
Hey, B, they started to act like they started making $5,000 a month. They started to get like big red. Hey, listen, man, my office hours are from 9 to 5.
And I get it. And it's because most of us come from where, $60,000 a year is great money. I'm not knocking that. But I'm saying you didn't sign up to make $5,000 a month. But what happens is you get a little article in the magazine, the CEO say your name 2 or 3 times, and you get a trophy at the convention, and then the ego kicks in instead of you going, wait a minute. At one point, I was at 0. How do I make $5,000, $25,000? If I'm at $5,000 a month, my group needs to be 5 times the size it is now to make what? 25. If I'm at $5,000 a month, shoot, that means Lawrence make 20 times more than me. Okay? So let's keep it gangster now. If you want to get where he is, you got to do what he does. And if he's humble and got there, what make you think arrogance will get you there? See, I just believe in a lot of common sense stuff. I don't know why people overcomplicate the business. It's your emotions. I don't know why people overcomplicate the business. And the reason I can talk like this, because I don't know none of y'all. So you can just I'm just a third party that's just trying to give you some game. I can say the things to you that Lawrence may not be able to say because you'll think it's coming from him. No, I'm telling you, it's a third party person. The guy's the most humble guy I've ever met, doing better than most people in network marketing. Other people flash more. He don't have to do that because those of us that have it don't have to do that. Listen to the man. I'm telling you, 20 years in this business ain't something that a lot of us can do. It's really not. I'm 23 years now in. It's not something a lot of us can do. So we just try to keep you from the problems because we see them way before most of you guys ever will.
And you know, it's crazy you mentioned being in the industry over 20 years, and anybody's on this call who knows how I teach leadership. I tell people in leadership and your journey in networking, the best trait you can have is endurance. Because it's great to hit, you know, any company you're involved in, right out. But I tell people, impress me by being here 3 to 5 years from now. That's what's impressive, because once you've gone through the trials and tribulations, yeah, endurance is the most important part of your journey in business, in network marketing. I mean, you got to have the wherewithal to finish the race.
Yeah, man. Whenever people come into the business and they telling me what they're going to do, they don't understand. I'm like, oh God, you know what? Stop. La, 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 la. I do that for real. Don't tell me. Because when you don't do it, what's going to happen is you talk so much trash about what you're going to do. And when you start seeing that it's not everything you thought and how easy as you thought it was, now you're going to run from me and do what I call hide behind the sweet peas. And Lawrence, that's where you see them in the grocery store, and they like, there he go. Yeah. Don't hide behind the sweet peas when you see me at the grocery store, because you came in talking all that trash that I told you don't come in telling me nothing. Lawrence, I've had celebrities in the group, man. I've had professional athletes. I had the pastor of the biggest congregation on East Main Street. I had the president of this company. Let me tell you something. They don't bust a grape. They don't bust a grape. You know why? Because I tell people all the time, that ain't this. That's just the point. I don't care if you're a professional boxer. I don't care if you're a professional athlete. That ain't this. And when you get good in this, and you can prove to me that you know this, then we'll celebrate who you are. But I believe in celebrating people that's in the business. I don't believe in all that celebration of what you did outside the business. People get me on the phone. Right. Now you got to talk to Pastor so-and-so. Hey guys, hold on one second. Check. Hold on one second. Now you got to talk to Pastor so-and-so. And right now, this is the CEO of so-and-so. I'm like, okay, why are you making him bigger than you?
Yeah.
Y'all put this in your notes, please. I'm in the business. I'm in the business. Now, I don't mean that I'm not trying to speak from a vain perspective. I want y'all to put that in your notes. I'm in the business. When did he become the one that we all revere? When you got a chairman 100, he need to be talking to Lawrence. Obviously, it's something he need to see. I'm not trying to go to your church. You trying to come in this business. Pastor, y'all don't know me that well. I'm sorry. My point is,
people will edify. People will edify. They will edify the prospect more than edify their leader, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Yeah. Let me stop before they think I'm a heathen. I'm just saying pastor, y'all, as a. I'm just saying, you know, that's people revere these titles. That's all. I don't want y'all to think I don't go to church. I'm gonna go to my virtual church on Sunday.
He'd be like, hey man, Brian got struck by lightning last night. Y'all hear
that? Hey, listen, man, I gotta get ready. We're doing a parade, man. We're doing a drive-by parade for a good friend of mine that graduated. I hope everybody got some good information, man. I really do. And I do this again. It ain't no problem for me ever.
Hey, drop some sevens. Yeah, drop some sevens in the chat for main man Brian. Like I told you guys, he's on the Mount Rushmore. I gotta give my main man some theme music. Let's get some theme music for my main man, Mr. Brian Beane. Let's go get it. Let's go get it. Let's get some theme music going. Oh yes. What you know about that, Brian Beane?
I can go with home.
What you know about that, Brian? What you know about that, Mr. Beane?
Allow me to introduce myself.
Tupac, man.
There you go. I take it. I gotta go, man. Y'all stick around. I'm out.
There you go, man. Appreciate you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That's one of my good friends. You know, Brian, we'll get him on another time. He'll drop some nuggets. I'm actually gonna get on the speakers team next week. So, hey, man, that's what it's all about, man. That brotherhood and friendship. Enjoy that time today, man. Thanks so much. But, you know, it's funny, ladies and gentlemen, getting on the call, you're on this call right now. It's so important that you learn some of these principles. And it's funny because I'm looking at Kurt Cobain is on the call. And it's funny because one thing that Brian told me a long time ago, he said, listen, man, when people say they're going to do this and they're going to do that, one of the things I always say is what? Show me, don't snow me. I learned that from Brian. Have I ever said that to you, Curtis? Show me, don't snow me, right? Put that work in. Show me. Don't. Snowby's back. Let me unmute Kurt here. Hold on a second. Let me unmute man Kurt. Let me go to Kurt here. Kurt. I'm using my iPad instead of my computer. It's a little slower. Where you at, Kurt? But man, that was an awesome call there. I don't know why this is tripping. Where you at, Kurt? Trying to find. Kurt, unmute yourself. I don't know what's wrong with my iPad. You can unmute yourself.
There we go. There we go.
There you go. Okay. I'm using my iPad instead of my computer because Tamara's on another call right now. But hey, man, how many times have I said that to you?
Bruh, listen, time after time. And it's funny because when he was saying I couldn't do nothing but smile because I remember the first day I met Lawrence at the event. I'm doing the hook, man. I'm gonna be the biggest, baddest thing you ever seen. He like, yeah, I did all that talk. I ain't even have my wallet on me. I couldn't even sign up talking about what I was gonna do. So I had to go back and come back the next day. But yeah, Lawrence been, man, without crying, Lawrence has been probably one of the most instrumental brothers I've ever met, man. Like, he's put my life in a completely different stratosphere since I've met him. I know he's been the same for most of you guys on this call. But just honestly, man, like, when he directed me to Brian about a year ago, and I went to follow him on YouTube and Facebook. I use Brian's stuff when I'm coaching my team to this day. Like, the dude is amazing. So I knew when I was hearing him, I'm hearing LY. I'm like, yep, that's Lawrence right there. Yep, that's Lawrence there again. Yep, okay, yep, there go the Nuggets. So yeah, like, listen, when he come back, I'm gonna have a whole book just for him, just writing. But and listen, you made my whole weekend, basically my month with this. I'm about to watch this video over and over when it's done rendering. It's a wrap, bro.
And guys, that's what the key is. The key is in your game, in your run in networking, you're gonna learn from a lot of different people. And all you see, some of the things we say, you think it's profound. All we do is copy the right cat. Brian was a great cat to copy from. I learned a good original copy from him. I want to be a good original copy to you. Ahmed wants to be a good original copy to you. Andre wants to be a good original copy to copy from. But see, if you do things the right way and build with integrity and do it the right way, not stepping on people's necks, not stabbing people in the back. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it takes you a long time to build a reputation, but you could lose that joker in 3 to 5 seconds by making a bad decision. So if you do things right up front, you have nothing to worry about. All we have to do is just put the work in. That's all we have to do is just put the work in. And, again, I'm just so excited to do this call with you guys. I want you guys to hear from Brian. And, again, this call is being recorded. It's going to be some good stuff for you. But, I just wanted to come on here and give you guys some love today. Appreciate all you guys jumping on. As a matter of fact, Andre Campbell, you on the call?
Hey, what's up, Coach? I'm here, brother.
Hey, listen, man, if you could, I know you know Brian. I know you know Brian personally, man. Did you get some good information from that today?
Oh, man, listen, man, this call is amazing. Here getting a workout in, brother. Just taking it all in. Just want to thank you once again, Coach, for all you do for us, brother, and putting this thing together. Yeah, I've been listening to Brian since about 2012. Actually met Brian in Atlanta in another opportunity, another event. Phenomenal trainer. As many of you just heard. I even dropped a playlist in there that I have listed that information. I'll put it on replay. Woo!
Man, that's awesome, man. I know you getting that workout in, man. That's why you're in your 50s looking like you're 20, man. Keep up the good work, bro. Hey, but listen, we have my main man, Ahmed John Manyale on the call, chairman. Ahmed, you get some good gold nuggets on that today, bro. Shoot yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I've literally learned so much, and as Andre was saying, I was watching back on his playlist, and because I know you posted it in a group saying this was my mentor, and I take information like that like gold dust. So if Lawrence is my mentor, and this was his mentor, you just gotta realize that there's so many people that paved the way to being successful. And that taprooting video where he was talking about LY in that video that he shared, really goes to show that this business, anybody can be successful. It doesn't matter what you've done, what you've come from. And, you know, we most of the time we forget that we have power in terms of we can help a lot of people change their lives. We can, you know, impact them, you know, more ways than one. And, you know, for myself, I've been in this game since I was 18. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, right? And I can tell you, you know, with me, the reason why I partnered up with Lawrence and Andre was because, you know, I didn't want to make money fast. I didn't want to, you know, just come in any team because it's the millennial thing to do. I wanted to join people who had real skin in the game, real, you know, been through the ups and downs, you know, got a lot of miles in the clock because, and more importantly, you know, just their character and their values and everything they do it without having to, you know, let the people will know, or, you know, by saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. Their knowledge and their skill set is exactly what it is that I wanted, because even though I've been, you know, I've learned a lot, I've always know that, you know, being a, you know, a student of the game, always willing to learn. There's nothing that you can always, you know, you can never say I've learned everything, I know everything. Trust me, there's a lot of knowledge out there, and you just have to be coachable, always be a student. And that's why I always remain a coach to Lawrence, and I always edify him to the top. And, you know, just the information I learned today, the most powerful one for me, there's a lot of stuff in there. But one thing that really stuck out to me was the fact that I wasn't the same now than when I first joined the business. Does that make sense? Because I remember when I first joined this business, you know, I was getting 10 to 15 calls for Lawrence every day, regardless. And Lawrence will tell you that himself. Maybe I don't do that so much now because I feel like, you know, I know what I'm doing, right? But that's why I got to chairman so quick, is because I was excited. You know, I followed what Lawrence was telling me to do. And, you know, I was, you know, we do this all the time, and, you know, my team do it as well, is sometimes they feel like they've got a lot, you know, an amazing prospect coming on, that they'll edify the prospect and not the person that's going to be doing the call for you. So, you know, it's very, very important to, you know, fine tune, find out what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, you know, cut the fat and just run with it, run with what works. And that's my, you know, 2 cents on it. Thank you, Lawrence.
Man, that's some awesome stuff, man. And again, that's why you're the leader that you are. You know, we do these calls. We like to have our chairman leaders, you guys hear from them. Let's hear from my main man, Mr. Jazz Williams. Jazz, are you on the call?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, Coach? How you doing?
Man, I'm incredible, man. Great minds think alike. We got the same T-shirt on today.
Yeah, hey man, listen, I'm rocking. I sent you a picture. But what's going on, everybody? Coach, first and foremost, I really don't want to take a lot of time. Thank you for allowing me to pop on. But I'm just really excited. Wifey and I, we was taking notes. My hands is hurting from just writing, cramping. I had to cut my camera off because I was running around screaming like, let's go. Like, I'm just excited because, I mean, it's a blessing to be able to have someone come and just pour these nuggets into you. And so I just want to thank you for setting this call up, Coach. Genuinely, like, truthfully, like, just thank you so much. Like, you really came and, you know, like, business has been booming. You know, just like you said, everything else has been like NFL shut down, NBA shut down, all these things have shut down, but business has been booming. And to have this on this weekend to just come and pour fire on what's already just going was just exciting, man. So I'm just ready to get back in the trenches. I'm ready to go back to work. I honestly, Coach, I thank you for bringing me up. But I don't even know what to say. Like,
well, what stood out to you most on the call today? What nugget did you give the most? You know, so, what impacted the most?
The thing that what impacted me the most. Let's see. When he was talking about taprooting, and building your business, like really getting. What we were taught was build through, build with, build for. I've never heard it put into the perspective that he put in it, as far as like taking a pot of water, putting it in the desert, and then if you know, coming from the top of it, it's just gonna all evaporate. But you have to get in position to, you know, go work with certain individuals and stop trying to work through people. Like, hey, did you tell this person to do so and so, you know, so and so, or whatnot. So that for me really stood out, because I think oftentimes, and one of my mistakes, and I'll be the first to admit it. When I hit chairman, I thought that was it. Like, we got it. Like, I made it. Like, hey, we this is what we, you know, and what I realized is, nah, that's not how it works. Like, you got to keep working. And then I heard David say it one time. He said, once you start hitting these ranks of $10,000, $25,000, $50,000 a month, you got to work harder than what you did to get there. You know, you got to work even harder to keep it. And so in working harder to keep it, that means you have to always stay in the trenches. You have to always be tap rooting. You have to always be at that level one. Like, I'll be honest, being in I Am Mastery Academy, yeah, you think when you get to certain levels, like, I got to go buy the suits, I got to go buy the cars, because it's just money. Like, you don't know where to fit in, but you have to get back to a place of, now going to the second thing he touched on, is just simply solving for X. Every day you got brand new people coming into your business, so you have to be in the trenches. And the biggest way to be in the trenches is not evaporating that water from the top, but more so putting that flame at the bottom of that pot and working it that way. So that for me was just one of those things where it's just, I was just really excited about that, solving for X, showing the way, like, not like, because I'll be the first to admit, and I don't want to, I'm gonna say this and I'll pass it back to you, Coach. You do get caught up sometimes saying, like, hey, did you do X, Y, and Z? Like,
management mode.
Did you do X, Y, and Z? Like, I'm guilty. I'm as guilty as they come when it comes to that. But you got to get to a point where it's like, no, Jazz, you need to do it. You need to pick up the phone and make sure this person set their launch event. You need to pick up the phone and make sure that, you know, this person got onto a Leah or whoever, whatever session, or just anything. Like, you got to build your business. Nobody's coming to build your business for you. So that really stood out. Like, but it was so much, like, a lot of stuff stood out. Even stuff that I felt like, okay, I need to take that and implement that to get us to knock out these 293 sales to Chairman 25. Like, that's like, I need, like, it was just so much. So
it's done.
Excited. Thank you so much, Coach. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you to everybody that's on this call. Shout out to all the chairman leaders, platinum leaders, everybody.
Awesome, man. You know, we have another, and again, Jazz, he and his wife, man, they're burning the midnight oil, making this thing, you know, really, really take off. And, you know, Jazz and I, we had some deep conversations about trials and tribulations in business. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, just because you see people at high ranks, trust me, they go through the fire too. You know, I've always taught people, hey, when you're going through hell, just don't make any pit stops. You're going to go through it. Just keep on going through it, right? I want you guys to hear from another chairman, then we'll close our call. There's Mr. Dwayne Lodge on the call. Dwayne, unmute yourself, my friend.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Lawrence, can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you loud and clear, my friend. How's everything going? You on camera?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do camera. Can you guys?
There you go. Yeah, I want people to see your face, man. What did you get out of the call today, my friend? What nuggets affected you the most?
Too sunny over here. Hold on. Yeah, man. If you can hear me, okay. I'll go ahead and talk about what caught for me, man. Yeah, I actually saw some of Brian's material, you know, some time ago. So I actually saw some of his stuff. I knew it was going to be a great call. You know, I guess for me, what I took from him, honestly, one thing I took was from you, actually. You know, you said one of the biggest characteristics you can have here is endurance, you know, and I think that's what it's really about, is endurance. You know, I say all the time, be here a year from now. You know, listen, guys, anybody can get excited when they sign up. I tell people all the time, you know, I grew up in the church and I see people, man, hey, listen, I've been seeing this for years. I grew up in the church and I'll see people, I'll never forget it, man. Growing up in the church, I see people run to the front of the church. Oh my goodness, sign me up for the Jesus thing. Sign me up. Like next Sunday, like, where that lady that was running around the church? Like, sign me up, sign me up. You know, I'm like, just last week, she's like, oh my goodness, sign me up. You know, like, he's at the end of the church, you know, they ask you to come sign up. You know, so, you know, and we do something very similar here. We ask them at the end of our presentation to come get started. And then next week, when they're not around, some of you are like, oh my God, they're not around. Where are they? And I'm just like, well, I guess a little bit of what you said and what he said. So it's the endurance, but also the business is for you. Like, listen, this is my business. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll never ask nobody. This is your business. This is your business. You the one saw the information and said, I want to go to Chairman 10. You the one saw the information and said, if I do this, this can change in my life. You the one saw the information and said, man, if I do this, I can change my family situation. That was your goal. That's your goal. That's your dream. You know what I mean? So everybody's so caught up in what everybody else do. And I think one thing I've done very well over the years is, and I've been this way since I was a little boy, I guess, like I kind of stay in my lane, man. Like you guys gotta like just stay in your lane and go get your goal done. See, and network marketing to me, what excites me is that listen, let me give it to you this way. You get to have a business. We all excited. Wow, we business owners, y'all. We did it. We business owners. Hey, we all have a business. But the beauty about this business is from time to time, somebody in the group kicks in and helps out. This is how I see it. Call me crazy, but from time to time, somebody in the group kicks in and helps out. But it's my business. So if I want to get to the next level, that's my goal. I ain't bugging y'all. I might let you know every week, hey, y'all, anybody want to go this week? But if nobody respond, guess what? It's my business. I'm going to go this week. Everybody waiting for somebody else to go. And I don't know, man. It's like, so endurance, it's your business. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's exactly what he said, or I don't even know how I got on that tangent, but, endurance, man, and again, so I guess that even ties back into him talking about emotions. Like we get so emotionally attached to everybody else. I love everybody. Like I love everybody in the team. Upline, downline, sideline, UK, Cali, wherever you. I love all y'all. Look at y'all. I love all y'all. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I came here with my goals. Like I got my gold card. Like, this is my gold card. You know what I mean? So from time to time, if you kick in and you contribute, hallelujah. But people gonna come. People gonna go. Can you be emotionally stable enough to maintain and push through? I mean, I come from a previous company where, Lawrence, I'm so happy to have a leader like you. I'm be honest, I was gonna check out of this deal. Once I came here and the first couple trades didn't go well, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, this
right.
I'm out. I'm just being honest. Like I was gonna check out. Thank God I looked around and said, let me see, is there any leaders around here? I saw Lawrence, I saw certain people. I'm like, oh no, let me check back in. You know what I mean? But whatever, it's endurance. It's you. Here's how I was to it. If it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. You want a helping hand? Look at the end of your wrist.
Facts.
A helping hand, look at the end of your wrist. And from time to time, somebody kicks in. But this is your business, your goals, your dreams. Go get it done. So yeah, man.
That's epic, bro. That's epic. That's flat out epic. Again, when we have this type of thing going on, ladies and gentlemen, with your business, you're gonna run into a lot of stuff. And here you are today. It's a Saturday. We could be doing other things, but guess what? We got chairman leaders on the call, plugged in with their teams. And I noticed each one of them had notebooks. So that lets you know that they're taking this thing dead serious. So I can't thank Mr. Jazz Williams for he and his wife doing such incredible things. I see you, Darren, doing some incredible things. I see Mr. Dwayne Lodge, he and his wife doing some incredible things. Ahmed Jamanyanle, Burning Midnight Oil, doing some incredible things. Andre Campbell. We as leaders, as chairman leaders, and again, I'm just talking about the chairman leaders on the call today. Everyone on this call, you're a leader, because this call was a call to action for people who really want to build, who really want to go chairman, who really see themselves as chairman 500. What I want you guys to do is this, in moving forward today, I want you to I want you to give yourself a challenge. I want you to stop thinking so small that Platinum 600 is your goal. We need to start thinking like, why not Chairman 100? Let's just skip over all that. Some people make it so hard just to bring in 12 measly people, 12 people. And that's your goal. Your goal should be stretched so far. Like your goal should be so outlandish that if you share them with somebody, they would be like offended. That's how your goals need to be aligned. You know what I'm saying? So let's start to raise the bar. Let's start to stretch our thoughts on what it is we truly can make happen in this deal. Let's start to think I'm a chairman 10, not I just want to hit P1000. I just want to hit P5000. No, let's start to stretch like the new normal is chairman 10. But now all we have to do is once we say it, remember, if you believe, I want to see who's paying attention. If you believe, go in the chat right now and write I am. Go in the chat right now and write I am, if you believe. Write in the chat. Write in the chat if you want, if you believe. I am. You have to start believing in your heart of hearts that you are a Chairman 10. So let's start to really tap into that frequency that, you know what, I am thankful and grateful now that I am Chairman 10 by such and such a date. And you know what, when I heard Mr. David Emanite say that a long time ago when he joined the company, I didn't get it. But after a while, when I started to make those proclamations and start to say, I am thankful and grateful for now that I am, you know, Platinum 5,000, going Chairman 10. I mean, I'm so thankful and grateful now that I am a Chairman 100. I'm starting to really just tap into that frequency, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not tapped into that frequency, you're going to miss the whole boat. You got to start believing, right? And what does it take? You speak it off the tongue. You believe it in your heart. You see it before anyone else sees it. And then what you do from there, you get your butt to work to make it happen, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for getting on this call today. I don't want to be too long. This call is designed to get you a new shift so we can go close out the month of May. Let's make the second half of 2020, even though it's been dealt a terrible hand, we got to make lemonade out of lemons, right? So let's go out there and make it happen. Throw some sevens in the chat for all the leaders on the call today. Give yourselves a round of applause to get on the call today. And again, I love you. Anything I can do to help serve you guys, I'm here to help. Let's go make dreams come true. And I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite ensembles from one of my favorite artists. Let's go get it. If you know anything about it, drop some zeros. If you know anything about it, drop some zeros in the chat. If you know anything about this, drop some sevens in the chat. I don't care where you are in the world, drop some sevens in the chat if you know anything about this. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.